Hello, welcome to Amma Stories. Today, let's hear a folk tale from Japan. But why Japan? When I was searching the net and reading the folk tales of Japan, I found that the spirits of the moon, dragon kings, goblins without bodies, water imps, sun goddesses, animal spirits, an underworld for lost children, and a boy born from a peach were the themes of the folk tales of Japan. Japan's wondrous and eclectic folk tales are amongst the most imaginative, charming, and sometimes terrifying found anywhere in the world and remain deeply embedded in the country's ancient culture and traditions. Japanese folklore and mythology dates back to thousands of years and draws on influences from the country's two main religions, Shintoism and Buddhism, as well as stories from India, China, and elsewhere. Now, I think your silent query of why folktale from Japan would have been answered. Also, the internet says that there are four most famous folktales of Japan. They are Momotaro, then Yuki Onna, Kintaro, and Urashima Taro. In this four folk tales, I will be sharing Momotaro folk tale with you all. But let's hear the other three folk tales in a brief form. First, I am going to share Yuki Onna folk tale. This is the tale of a snow woman whose icy breath freezes her victims to death. In the classic tale, she comes across two woodcutters and spares one. Second one is Kinataro, the tale of golden boy with great strength and the ability to talk to animals. Kintaro is usually depicted as a sumo-sized child who wears only a red bib with the kanji character for gold, holding a hatchet for a weapon and carrying a fish, normally a huge carp, under his arm. Urashima Taro, who visited the bottom of the sea, is the story of a fisherman who saves a sea turtle's life but is transported to an underwater kingdom where he lives with a dragon princess. However, when he returns home, he discovers 300 years have passed and everyone he knew has gone. His true age was locked in a box by the dragon princess, but when he opens it, he ages immediately and dies. Now, let's listen to the story of Momotaro. Hope you have worn your listening caps, and here we go. A long time ago, an old man and his wife lived in a remote corner of Japan. They had no children and were a little lonely. Every day, the man gathered firewood in the mountains and his wife washed clothes in a nearby stream. One day, as the old woman was doing her washing, an enormous peach came bobbing downstream. She picked it up with difficulty because it was so big and heavy, and she took it home. The old woman waited for her husband to come home before eating the peach. When he had arrived, she took out a knife and plunged into the juicy peach, exclaiming, "What a tasty treat!" At that very moment, the peach split into two, and with a loud wail, out sprang a sweet boy. At first, the couple was startled, then overjoyed at having been blessed with a child. They called him Momotaro, Momo means peach. Taro is a common Japanese boy's name and brought him up with tender loving care. Momotaro grew up strong, powerful, and kind. In no time at all, he had become the strongest in the village. One day, Momotaro heard about the ogress on Onigashima who spread fear among his countrymen. He begged the old man and woman to allow him to go to Onigashima or Ogress Island to drive away the ogress. At first, they were surprised and worried, but Momotaro insisted so earnestly that they finally gave in to his plea. They prepared some millet dumplings for Momotaro to eat on his journey and saw him off. Momotaro set off in high spirits. At the edge of the village, he met a dog. Momotaro, where are you going? What are you carrying in that bag? Asked the dog. I am off to Onigashima, replied Momotaro, and I am carrying the most delicious millet dumplings in all Japan. If you help me drive away the ogress, I'll give you one. The hungry dog gobbled down a dumpling and became Momotaro's steadfast companion. Soon they came across a pheasant. In return for a tasty dumpling, the pheasant also agreed to join Momotaro's party. Next, they met a monkey who was also persuaded to join them in exchange for a millet dumpling. When Momotaro's party finally reached Onigashima, they found a large gate blocking their way. The pheasant flew over it and unlocked it from inside. The party passed through and were met by a strange spectacle. The ogress were in the midst of merrymaking. We have come to punish you for plaguing my countrymen, bellowed Momotaro and charged towards the drunken ogress with his three animal friends. The peasant pecked the ogress all over and scratched them. The monkey pounced and scratched them, and the dog bit their arms and legs. Thanks to having eaten the best millet dumplings in Japan, Momotaro's party had the strength of 1,000 people and had the ogress running for their lives. Completely overpowered, the defeated leader of the ogress dropped to his knees before Momotaro. With tears streaming down his face, he said, I promise we will never trouble human beings again, and we will return all the treasures we have ever taken from your village. But please spare our lives. Beseech you, we beseech you. Thereupon, Momotaro loaded the treasures onto a boat and joined by his small but feisty party headed back home with it in triumph. And here ends the story. Hope you have enjoyed, and till we meet next time, tata, bye bye.